Welcome back here on my channel. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Ria Varsami and I'm a Shamanic Astrologer. Today I will be sharing with you astrological information about the upcoming full moon in Scorpio that is happening on the 16th of May. This is a very special and a very powerful cosmic event, because together with the full moon we have a total lunar eclipse. And every time we have a total lunar eclipse, it amplifies, it magnifies the power of the full moon. So this is a very rare astrological event. Eclipses are portals. Eclipses are gates, doors to the unseen, to whatever is hidden. And our ancestors were always use this time of the eclipses to connect with the earth, to connect with the sky, and to ask for guidance, as the veil between realms, between dimensions, is very thin during eclipses. And an eclipse is not only influencing us at the day of the event, but also it can be an effect before and after, a few days or even months before and after. So this full moon in Scorpio, it's a very significant one. It marks a closure of a cycle that started back in November 19th, when we had the new moon in Scorpio. That was a karmic cycle that started back then, and now it's coming into a closure. And that could be an old part of ourselves, that can be a situation, that can be a person, etc. So every full moon is a great opportunity for resetting, for releasing, for healing. And also every full moon brings things up to the light, things that we couldn't see before. The full moon will highlight it to us. And this full moon is happening on the 25 degrees of Scorpio. So if you want to know how it's going to affect you and which area of your life will be mostly affected, you have to look where does the 25 degrees of Scorpio fall on your birth chart, if you have any planets there, and in which house. So now Scorpio in Shamanic Astrology is the archetype of the magician. And it's the magician because the magician has the power to create his own reality. But for creating his own reality, he has to go through the cycles of death and rebirth. It has to go through inner transformation to activate the power to create the reality that he wishes. So now also Scorpio energy is connected with what is hidden, is connected with our deepest emotions and our deepest wounds. It can also bring, it's connected also with things that we hold like secrets, some truths that we know but we cannot really look at them. They're very deep. So this full moon can bring things to the surface, whatever we have been hiding from ourselves, whatever we have been putting under the carpet, emotions, wounds, this full moon will bring them up to the surface. Also because, as I said, Scorpio is connected with secrets, this full moon can bring up some deeper truths, some secrets, some realizations, and things can come up to light so we can see them. So when we have a total lunar eclipse together with a full moon, it's, as I said, is a time of closure, and with Scorpio is a time where we transform. We have to leave the old so we can move to the new. We have to go through the rebirth process. This year, 2022, we have another total lunar eclipse in November the 8th. And if something for you is not clear now, that is closing, or whatever you're experiencing now in your life, by November the 8th, when we have the next total lunar eclipse, that will be more clear, the things that is staying back, and you have to go to the new. From one stage to the next stage, from one phase of your life to the next phase. So these two total lunar eclipses, the one we have the 16th and the one the 8th of November, they work together. So now another thing that I wanted to mention, we have Mercury Retrograde. Since the 10th of May, Mercury moved retrograde, is in the energy of Gemini. and Mercury has a very bad reputation, but also as every planet, as every energy has the light and the shadow parts. So the shadow part is that we can feel confused, we cannot take decisions, actually it's not a good time to start new things, technological things cannot work very well during this time, etc. But the light side of Mercury, and the one I want to focus actually, is that it's a great time for reflecting of the past and letting things integrate. It's a time for introspection, and it's a time where our dreams are very active, and that gives us access to our subconscious, to what we believe. So I totally recommend every time we have Mercury retrograde to keep a dream journal to see what it is stored in your subconscious. Now, another thing I wanted to talk today is about Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, is the planet of abundance, and is moving into the energy of Aries. Actually, it moved from the 10th of May, and this is happening every 12 years. So this is another important cosmic event, because it was in Pisces, it's moving now to Aries, and now it's going to move in Pisces by October for a few months and then back to Aries completely. So when Jupiter expands the energy of Aries, that gives us a lot of faith, of courage, activates the inner warrior. It just gives us all this strength to go behind whatever we want to do. And it's a very great energy to work with. Now, also, except of all these I already mentioned, this is a very, very, very healing full moon, because we have Chiron and Venus conjuncting in the energy of Aries. And when this happens, it also gives us the power, the strength, the courage to be bold and face our wounds, face the wounds that are stopping us to moving into this new phase, these wounds that are stopping us to transform. Look at them, heal them, and just move forward. And that's what Chiron and Venus are doing in Aries. Now, one last thing I would like to mention, it's in this super powerful total lunar eclipse full moon event, is is Saturn. Saturn is very active during this event. Saturn actually is forming a T-square, we call it in astrology, is an aspect where we have Sun in Taurus from one side, opposing the Moon in Scorpio, and then it's forming a T-square with Saturn in Aquarius. What does that mean? Saturn is the planet which brings difficulties and challenges, and is the opposite of Jupiter, is bringing contraction. So having Saturn in forming this T-square, it's going to rise a lot of tension. It can rise difficulties, it can rise challenges, but for a reason. It wants to push us to our limits so we can take this leap of faith. It wants to push us forwards into this death process. It wants to push us there so we can die, so we can rebirth from the ashes. And also it's pushing us to actually find a solution, because when we are pushed to the limit, we're gonna find a solution, we're gonna liberate ourselves from all of that. So that's all I want to share with you today. This is a very, very powerful and rare event. Take advantage of these energies for healing, for looking deep inside. And I'm also doing an online workshop on the 16th, offering mini personal readings to all the participants. If you want to participate, I will leave the link below in the comment, in the description area. Thank you so much for listening. See you into my next video. Bye for now.